So Token, we're an account-to-account payments company. We're in the open banking space. We're a B2B2C company. We don't necessarily speak to end consumers, but it's a very emotional space, the payment space. Some of our customers have liked HSBC and MasterCard. I've been at the company for 2 years, for a customer of Geckoboard for 6, and a customer of Zendesk for over 10 years now. Since we're fully remote, one of the biggest challenges is how do we get data in front of everyone? How do we understand what's happening with our customers? And how do we make changes to our customer journey when there is something that's happening? Very early on in my time at Token, I found that I was the gatekeeper of data, where I was getting a lot of requests from senior management in terms of what's happening with our customer tickets, what are we doing in terms of sell products. And having used Geckoboard before, I thought it would be relative to implement that. What's it enabled us to do is have data at everyone's fingertips, and the learning curve to start using Geckoboard, it is pretty short. So that's allowed us to have our CEO directly on these dashboards, and the team themselves have created their own dashboards when they want to talk about how well they're performing and their what. So it's very much a all-encompassing system that we're using to showcase data.
I thought we kind of drill into a little bit some of the weeds of areas of what's on them and exactly what the teams are doing. So maybe we could start with like the risk and compliance team.
Yes, so the risk and compliance thing, it sounds quite boring, but actually it's all around fraud prevention. So we have a whole dashboard around transaction monitoring and seeing what's happening with certain customers. That is also fed through to how they onboard their own merchants, and we can have a full picture view. And thanks to having some integrations with like Google Sheets, it allows us to have multiple data points into a single dashboard. So that's for risk and compliance. Another one that we have, which I really enjoy looking at, is our products. So seeing what is happening with certain products, how they're being used by our customers, some transaction volumes, also looking at the ticket volumes and the issues that we're seeing. Those are shared with our product and engineering teams. So when there is a particular issue that comes up where we're seeing, okay, this particular ticket is getting repeated by many of our customers, we'll swarm around the idea. And I love that terminology because it's multiple teams that will be looking at the problem and seeing what's happening thanks to these dashboards. They are shared internally and they're easy links, but they're also shared directly in our Slack. So those pop up on a regular basis, may that be on a Monday to see what's happened the week before. We also have dashboards directly for our customers, which has really enabled us to have like a great little UI to show them what's been happening with their own tickets. It really helps also our CSM team understand what's happening with their customers. So if you marry what I was talking about earlier with transaction monitoring, all the data points that we have in tickets, that helps them really make good decisions in terms of which customers they need to speak to in terms of their upcoming QBRs.
You're not the gatekeeper anymore.
Absolutely. I used to see myself as like the data architect, so I'm really glad I don't have to do that. But it's thanks to the great UI and, as I mentioned earlier, the easy learning curve. But what's happened is it's changed the culture within the company where everybody's naturally curious about the ticket data. What it's allowed us to be is more on the forefront of what's happening within Token, so much so that they've now given us our own OKR. So now we have a full dashboard of everything that's happening within the company, and there's one which is attached to support, which is 0% churn related to the support and care that our customers receive. It's a bit of a mouth.
And I heard it's 0.
It says 0. So really happy with we've been able to keep with our customer base, but that is something that we monitor carefully. And this is some of the metrics that are pinned to it, things like customer satisfaction, obviously, but how we've differentiated ourselves is being more nimble with how we name our tickets and the data that we can then showcase to them to say, well, look, we speak to you all the time. These are the regular issues that you're seeing. This is what's happening with in terms of your ticket volumes and how quickly we're getting to resolution. And it was really interesting on the main stage earlier talking about, the resolution revolution, and that's what we're trying to do within Token, is to reduce that time to resolve issues. I mentioned beginning, payments is quite promotion space. So having this data and knowing what's happening with our products and having it within the customer journey and seeing at what point we're having a lot of problems has enabled us to reduce that resolution.
You said also the leadership team created dashboards and they're looking at that. Tell us more about what's going on there. What do they do?
Yeah, so our C-suite no longer come to me for dashboards. They have their own Geckoboard logins and they go and create their own. The great thing is you can't break anything in terms of your reporting, so they can have their own dashboards that they can then investigate data points. So we've even recently integrated with HubSpot, so they can even see the sales data as well as the ticket data all in one place.
What would you say these dashboards are done for the visibility of what CS do and what the team recognition within the wider organization?
A couple of things really. So first of all, they've been able to talk about their work and the successes that they have and the great feedback that they're getting from customers. It's really changed the culture within Token of the support teams are not just another operations team on the side. They're really much on the forefront decision making. And because that data is everybody's fingertips, they can see the comments that they're getting from our customers and how quickly they're getting to resolve problems. The other aspect of it is they got really passionate about how well they're doing, and that the mindset and just their skill set has completely changed, where before you would have somebody that is just a support specialist, but now they want to understand what is happening within my tickets, how can I improve, what automations can I bring in, and that was thanks to them just having the dashboard. So it's really enabled us to do some cultural changes, which is not something I would have even thought about by enabling it.
Incredible. And with the product team having access now, so they can see that something they've done has caused surge in tickets, is that kind of made your life easier for them, and they're proactively doing things now and feeling remorse maybe if they base up?
Absolutely. So I also take care of our incident management team. So if there's anything that starts triggering, they obviously get an alert through the dashboards and I post them in Slack. On a monthly basis, we just look at any of the ticket volumes and we go back to the customer journey piece. It really helps us to look at, okay, well, this part of the product's not necessarily working. It's driving ticket volumes. Let's start looking at this. What bugs do you have or feature requests can we put in place? Again, just the fact that it's so easy for them to create their own dashboards, they don't have to come to me anymore. A bit more spare time to look at this.
Any other metrics you might add there on an OKR basis in the future?
Yeah, so we actually don't just have an OKR in terms of support. There's also a few under how much automation we have. There's a lot of things in there that is displayed out to the company. We have most of our metrics which are shared out there before our all hands, which happens on a monthly basis. But the fact there's a support one in there just shows you how much data is at the forefront of our C-suite and the leadership, and how much they trust our support team to actually have their own OKR.
So what's next on your data journey?
There is a bit of a delay in terms of the support tickets that we get, so it's to be able to marry that, so I know when I need to have people available, what type of tickets we might be getting, and just to align that with the volumes that we'll be seeing in terms of payments.
It sounds like there's data be quite dramatic.
Yeah, sometimes it would be 100x in terms of the amount of contact we get. It can be a lot, so just having the right people at the right time.
You got any other tips there, things you do to kind of make that work or build that team cohesion?
One of the things that we're doing at the moment is to give kind of CX projects to the team so that they can get really involved across the company. Automations is a really big one. The AI piece is something that they're really interested in, and I fully support them going out to learn and to give them autonomy with these projects. We're using something like Zapier, I think some of you may know. One of my agents has just run with this to build out his own automations, and in the process has got himself a role within our engineering team. So for us to give these projects to them and to give them at least an hour a week to be able to work on them has helped them within their own careers.
Jingle is changing who you're hiring.
Absolutely. So before we might be looking at more hard skills, if they have experience in the industry, if they understand the product. Now we're looking more for people that just want to be self-starters and can really problem solve rather than it being an understanding of how open banking works. I mean, I didn't before I joined. But it's that kind of skill set, self-starters wanting to resolve problems and really go-getters. It just changes the mindset if somebody wants to go and understand a problem and solve it.
I think that's a wrap. Okay, yeah, it's always thought to you today, and thank you, Zendesk, for hosting us.